Danbury Mayor Mark Boughton joining the show. Phase 3 reopening in Connecticut today. One specific thing means that restaurants can be at 75% capacity. Early this morning, I said something to Ethan. I was like, listen, if you get to 75, and I don't really want to talk about this anymore, but we're stuck. You get to 75%, who is going to enforce what the difference between 75% and 100% is? So if I own a restaurant and I've been on life support since COVID, and I'm at 75% and I know it, and I got another table of 4 that walks in and puts me at 83%, I'm just seating them.
Yeah, I think the guys, and you're absolutely right, the owners have been on life support since March. I think this will help, though, because we're going to let them keep their whatever outdoor facility they've created, the tents, whatever, at least in the short term, they're going to be able to keep those up. So between that and the 75% indoors, you might get to having 100% of your tables. And then in terms of enforcement, you're absolutely right. I mean, there's always these Karens that are calling in and texting in about how Johnny Jones doesn't have tables. The tables are too close in his restaurant, and you need to go over there right away. But, unless we get a real hard complaint, there's not a lot we can do about it. Nightclubs, though, are not allowed to be open.
Well, then the good news for people who have not been out, and what self-control on you, I've been out to restaurants a lot. As soon as you could go back, we went back, and I've seen it in the different stages and varieties of what people were trying and doing and all the regulations and things. I haven't encountered one problem, and all the restaurants locally have risen to the occasion to make it as safe as they possibly can.
Yeah, they're trying. I mean, but let's understand. One of the things I've learned in this whole horrible mess is that these restaurants, these are locally owned. Many of them, it's not paycheck to paycheck. It's not week to week, but it's definitely month to month in terms of being able to stay open. That's how tight of a margin they operate on. Even 1 or 2 big storms throws them way off in terms of being able to pay their bills. So anything we can do to help them out, we'll keep them open. I was on the show with you guys in March and April, and I told you that I thought 50% of the restaurants in the area were closed, and I will be closed permanently after this is all over. And I'm still holding to that figure. I think it's going to be 40 or 50%.
That's scary. I actually like what Ned said about Ned the Head Lamont said about the restaurants. Like he's going to continue to sit outside as long as he can handle it. And then that's how I would do it too. I'll throw on a sweater. I'll sit next to one of those heaters. It's fun. You're outside. You have a meal.
It's a personal choice.
Yeah.
Mindy and I are not ready to go back into a restaurant just yet. But if you want to go back in, that's fine. I'm not going to call you names or anything. It's just
sure.
We'll dine outside for as long as we can. But keeping in mind that you don't need to go out. But I do feel bad for these restaurant owners. I mean, all they want to do is survive.
Right. Right. And, they're having a hard time. I mean, some of their employees, understandably, won't come back. That's been an issue, too, that they've been calling me about. What do they do if an employee refuses to come back in? And there's a whole protocol for that. I'm with you, Ethan. I haven't done any indoor dining. I've done a couple of outdoor things. I'm doing probably 90% takeout because, I'm a bachelor and I live alone, so I tend to eat a lot of takeout. But it's hard, man. I listen to them all the time and talk to them, and they are on the edge. So hopefully all people hear this and they'll go out and they'll support their local restaurant and keep these guys open.